Just for context, there was some recent drama regarding the popular YouTuber Ruslan KD and his monetization strategy for YouTube. The main grievance pointed out by his critics was the fact that Ruslan was treating his YouTube channel as a business rather than as some definition of a ministry. The point of this video is an open letter to Mr. Sean Christie of Revealing Truth and Mr. Matt Mason of Lion of Fire Ministries. Hello everyone, this is Editing Podcast Son here. So Mr. Matt Mason has released a new video as to why he deleted the Ruslan KD video, and it's actually a really good video, and I agree with some of it. I would disagree with some of it. It will be articulated in this video. You'll just wait and see. So I'm not gonna at Matt Mason now because he's too nice of a guy, and I'm not gonna be super mean to him. From his video, he doesn't really want to get caught up in like drama and Christian YouTuber controversy. So this video was originally meant to be directed to at Mr. Mason as well. This video is now solely directed at Sean from Revealing Truth. Editor's note, over. This video is also to defend YouTube channels practicing this and to give you some thoughts regarding a Christian capitalism, which I'll be forming throughout this video. Now, just some disclaimers before we move on to the rest of the video. Don't treat me as if I'm in a teaching capacity. I'm just a normal guy using his platform to say his opinion on this matter. I ain't a pastor, I haven't been to seminary, I do swim in politics and economics as I'm studying to be a history teacher, but that's the greatest extent of my expertise. So treat this video, as with all of my videos, as if you were just having a conversation with another friend, not as if I had some teaching authority over you. Also, if there were any doubts about my own theology, I completely reject the prosperity gospel. The Christian life isn't all about health, wealth, and happiness, and it's actually even part of my own family's testimony as we moved from the Philippines to come here to Australia, that suffering is part of us living in a fallen world, and it is through that suffering that we've seen God time and time again deliver for us and provide us during times when we've really depended on him. So don't get me wrong, prosperity gospel is a load of twaddle, and God's not obligated at all to give you vast amounts of wealth, but that's all the more reason for the Christian to engage in what I'm terming as Christian capitalism. Let's get some distinctions out of the way. Just from any surface level examination of Ruslan's channel, as someone who's pretty aware of the YouTube ecosystem, would Ruslan's channel be classified as a ministry? We have here from Matt Mason say that if a YouTube channel is based on delivering Christian truth, regardless of how that's done, by definition, it is a ministry. Now let's just take a look at Ruslan's channel and just sort by his most popular videos. So there's some stuff on prophecy and Joe Rogan, there's an interview with an ex-Satanist, a video on witchcraft, a video on the CIA, an interview with a Christian Navy SEAL, some Hollywood drama sort of stuff, a video on aliens, and a video on, I think, some drama regarding The Chosen. Now, if we were to call this thing that Ruslan's doing a ministry, I should think it's a pretty bad ministry at that. If I went to my church this Sunday and the pastor was yapping about aliens, I know I would be interested in that kind of commentary, but I know for certain half of the congregation, and particularly the older folks, would not be happy with that sermon, because these are just fun topics and thought experiments and not doctrinal stuff befitting for a ministry. If my pastor started off his sermon talking about another chosen controversy, I would be super angry, because the church is certainly not the place to be having those discussions. Even the interview stuff, like, I don't think it would be a good fit for a church setting. Like the sharing of testimonies, yes, but to hear someone's life story over the course of an hour, like an hour-long video as we see here on Ruslan's channel, that's not what I'm looking for in a church. And if it's not really the right place for a church because their job isn't to produce content, and this certainly wouldn't be appropriate for a charitable Christian organization to be doing it either. Like, if I was donating money to the Salvation Army, I wouldn't want them to be starting to make videos about all of these different topics, because they are ministries. They're trying to do something else. Categorically, Ruslan KD is not a ministry. It is a YouTube channel that offers entertainment, interesting discussions, and commentary on topical issues. It is a commentary channel with Christian influences. To act like Ruslan's on the same level as Mike Winger, who is offering like these verse-by-verse Bible studies and doctrinal teaching, I think is insane. I want to offer a couple of other channels as examples. Charlie Kirk is a political commentator who is very much openly Christian, but when you look at his channel, the channel is focused on political commentary, debates, though the thing is, he's also got videos covering faith, theology, and apologetics. Now, according to Mr. Mason's definition of the ministry, Charlie Kirk would fit. Now, you might be pedantic and say that Kirk's channel isn't based on delivering Christian truth, but what kind of truth is Kirk delivering then? The conservative values of preserving the nuclear family, advancing the pro-life cause, and to discourage the growth of the LGBT movement are all truths which align with Christianity, and is obviously a really big motivator for Kirk to be making these videos and his political activism as well. So does that mean Charlie Kirk's channel is a ministry, that he shouldn't be offering members-only content or be earning from memberships in order to support the work of Turning Point USA? I think about the guy who does the videos on playing a game while following the 10 Commandments. I'd love for him to be making a living off of YouTube just like any other big gaming channel, and I'd love for this guy to grow to the point that he can make this his job, to be making videos and be supporting himself through YouTube ads, memberships, and merch, might I stress, just like every other gaming channel on YouTube. And I'd be more motivated to support authentic animations as a content creator and as a profitable YouTube channel because he's promoting Christianity in the public square. Though would I call this channel a ministry and judge it at the same standard as one? You know, if I found out John MacArthur was doing this with my donations, I'd be posting about that on Twitter every day, all day long, because that's not the purpose of a ministry. I look at the two business models being proposed here. So someone like Ruslan, he's modeling his YouTube channel just like a lot of other cooking, politics, or gaming channels on YouTube. If you want to support Ruslan's channel, you'll be able to receive early access to videos, uncensored content, some premium content, and a discount code to the merch store. Now keep in mind again, Ruslan is primarily a commentary channel. I was a member for a bit, I've seen some of the members only content, and it's not as if he's hiding the gospel or some extra bits of discussion over doctrine. It's often the case that the members only content is simply more focused on controversial discussions that would get you demonetized on YouTube. And that's the first business model being presented to us. The channel provides some free content, there's some extra content being provided as a service, and viewers who want to support the channel are able to purchase a membership to receive that service. This is the same rationale behind the merch store, right? Where instead of paying a pagan and buying a shirt from them, you're paying a Christian instead who has made you this really cool shirt. The second business model being presented to us by these other channels like Revealing Truth is one completely dependent on donations. And that's it. Relying upon the goodness of people's hearts, the ministry will continue going on somehow, maybe. Now, I'm not denying that God could be asking you to be faithful and just trust that he will provide, as I've seen in many people's lives, but I've also been very intentional in the wording of this because the first business model is the foundation of this Christian capitalism which I've been trying to get at throughout this whole video, and it's a model that would be helpful to many people trying to get a start on YouTube. It's completely understandable that during the time of the early church that someone like Paul would also work as a tent maker at times in order to support himself, and I completely respect Mr. Mason's conscience on the matter, and if you're called to make a not-for-profit YouTube channel, then I'm certainly not stopping you. However, we live in an incredible period of history where to have a YouTube channel is not only a viable career path, but it's also a viable business, which is why it frustrates me when I hear stuff like this clip I've taken from Revealing Truth's video on channels that make it apparently all about the money.
Remember, there's lots of other Christian YouTube channels with good content, but you shouldn't support channels that are obviously about money and give special information to those who pay them the most. And you shouldn't be supporting channels that tell you the lie that they can't continue their channel without your financial support. By all means, if you feel led by God, then bless channels you have benefited from with the equivalent of a cup of coffee each month. But also, be discerning about which channels are focusing on getting rich, because greed is of the devil.
So with all due respect, sir, I've got to say that's absolutely stupid. Like, I look at some of the people I watch for entertainment. Someone like 8-Bit Ryan, where his whole job is that he plays a game, provides commentary, edits the video in a fun way, and posts that video online. I'm sure he's only able to do this as a job because of ad revenue and people supporting him on memberships. I look at a history channel like The Armchair Historian, who out of necessity, because YouTube demonetizes topics regarding certain time periods and regions in the world, he has to put that uncensored content behind a paywall, or else the video is going to be demonetized, and his whole operation filled with animators, writers, and researchers and video editors is completely compromised. I look at the whole VTubing scene, which is built on memberships and super chats. I think it's amazing for Hololive to be even creating something like this with a level of technological sophistication of their VTuber models, and they literally cannot run their business without the support of members. So when I hear a boomer take like that, it's cringe, it's out of touch, and yes, the channel did exist beforehand while a YouTuber may have had a part-time job, but if the goal is to make the channel a full-time career, then the only way to do that sustainably as a proper business proposition is through memberships, just as we see on mainstream YouTube. This is the vision of Christian capitalism that I am proposing to you. We as Christians should be doing so many more channels, from history to music to VTubing to gaming to politics to cooking to productivity, not just focusing on sermons and doctrine, and it is through that you are providing value to the viewer. The more value you provide, the more you're able to put that value behind a membership through members-only videos, through merch, through badges and emojis, and all of this supplemented by YouTube ad revenue. We do live in a capitalist system, which is why it's helpful to think of things through profit margins and expenses, especially as well if you've got an editor or thumbnail artist or writer you've hired and you've got to be paying them too. Of course, our ultimate reason and motivation we're doing this has to be for the glory of God, or else you'll be burnt out and ultimately the thing you're doing is meaningless without God's purpose, plan, and vision for your channel. Though that's the Christian capitalism I'm proposing to you, so that these channels are actually sustainable things that last a long time. It's actually the same vision I have for this channel when I think of the biggest anime content creators on this platform who've built themselves up for the past 10 years, creators like Giguk and CDocVA and Joey the Anime Man. They didn't get to the point they're at now, that they're influencing the culture and taking part in mainstream conversations from random donations. They bloody well got there with YouTube money. That's the vision for this channel, which is in 10 years time, we want to be the biggest anime review channel on this platform, and using such a platform, I want to influence the online anime community and draw them closer to Christ with these videos. If that's the vision you want to join in with, then you might want to watch my video on how this anime, Bocce the Rock, led me closer to Christ.